Welcome to the Defecating Bears first long YouTube video. Today, we're going to be talking about the 8 head coaching openings and why I think these head coaches are going there. First, we're going to talk about John Harbaugh, though. He just signed a 5-year contract with the New York Giants, maybe about 10 minutes before I recorded this. Great hire, by the way. They need a proven leader there, a guy who can lead this team to the playoffs, and someone who can develop with Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo, especially, and also with that defense. This is a proven head coach. Will they go to the Super Bowl? I don't think so, but they'll at least be a playoff team. And then the plan all along was to hire Todd Monken as head coach. And I thought he was going to the Browns as head coach, to be honest. Clearly that didn't happen, but he'll be a great offensive coordinator. He did a really good job developing Lamar Jackson as a better passer. He'll do the same with Jackson Dart and use Cam Scatterbo in a good way with the run game. All right, let's get to the actual head coach opening job. So starting with the really easy one, the Steelers. This is a perfect job for Brian Flores. He brings in a really good defensive system that he had in Minnesota, and he was also a head coach before in Miami, which I think will really help with him getting another coaching job with Pittsburgh. He also has experience in Pittsburgh after he got fired from Miami. Before he went to Minnesota, he was there with the Steelers as a linebackers coach. He'll be a great fit with that team. He'll be a great leader. He'll be a great, just mind in for that defense. And now we have the Dolphins. I originally went Kevin Stefanski, and I read a report today that said they're favoring Jeff Hafley, the defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. So I think they're going with him. The one thing that Jeff Hafley has going for him is that he was a former head coach at Boston College. I think that will really help with him getting hired as a Dolphins coach, because I think they just need a good, solid leader, and that's the case with most of these teams. They just need someone that can lead from the front, and that's exactly what Jeff Hafley can bring. He led a pretty solid defense with Green Bay. He did a good job. He did a really good job leading that Boston College team to a lot of wins, considering that they're struggling now. So he'll be a great hire. I personally thought they would have gone Kevin Stefanski because he's an offensive mind. He either would have fixed Tua or he would have developed Quinn Ewers. But I trust that Jeff Hafley can rebuild this defense, and they can find a good offensive coordinator to help either fix Tua. I don't know what they're going to do with Tua. Ravens, I have Joe Brady. He's the current Bills offensive coordinator. He's always been at the front for my head coaching spots. I've loved him ever since he was at LSU in 2019. Then he was the Panthers, I think he was their old coordinator, and then he got with Matt Rule, and then he got fired, and then became the Bills quarterbacks coach. And I think he got promoted once Dayball left, or no, it was that one guy that threw everything on the ground. I think it was him, but this, it's a slam dunk for Joe Brady if he does want this job, which I think he will take it, or one more, but this team hasn't requested an interview with him yet, so I think the Ravens job, it's pretty easily his. I think he'll do a even better job than what Todd Monken did in developing Lamar Jackson. He'll probably develop in more of a Josh Allen player, which they're both pretty similar type of players. But I think Joe Brady will do a pretty good job there. All right, Cardinals. With the GM, I think they're hiring. They're favoring. I think he's like a big San Francisco guy or something like that. And I think that's gonna really influence Robert Saleh to go to Arizona. They need someone, again, as I said about Miami, they need a leader from the front. And if there's one guy in this league that can lead from the front, it's Robert Saleh. He's going to be really good for this team. He's going to because their defense is honestly pretty solid. He's going to use the pieces on his defense to build really good pieces, to be a really good defense. I think their offense, he needs to hire a better offense coordinator than what he had in the Jets. He had Mike LaFleur. I think they really struggled with him because I don't think he was an experienced play caller. And he had the job of developing Zach Wilson, so that wasn't really good. Now, I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback because I don't know if Kyler Murray's staying or not. They could go out and get Malik Willis or something. He would be pretty solid. But Robert Saleh, great leader. He'll be great for the defense. They need someone other than fucking Jonathan Gannon. He freaking sucks. Raiders. This is a dream job if I'm Clint Kubiak, and I'm going to easily take this job. This is a slam dunk hire, if I'm being completely honest. Clint Kubiak is going to be fantastic for Fernando Mendoza and Ashton Genty's development. They're going to turn into a really good offense if he's calling plays. This is probably my Ben Johnson hire if I were the Raiders. He did a really good job in maintaining Sam Darnold's development when he was in Seattle, turned JSN into a monster, and they ran the ball decently well for, having Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet on their team. And I just think he's going to be a really good head coach. For the Browns, this one was interesting. I originated Todd Monken because I thought he was going to be a head coach, and now he's following John Harbaugh. And I really had problems trying to figure out who this coach would be. I went back and forth with Jim Schwartz and different defensive coordinators, which Jim Schwartz is their current defensive coordinator for the Browns. I ultimately landed on someone that is going to help Shedeur Sanders or whatever quarterback they bring in next year, and that's Grant Udinski. He's the current Jaguars offensive coordinator. I think the problem with him is he's going to have to bring in someone else to call him plays because Liam Cohen called plays in Jacksonville. He did it, the same thing there. I think this is a very boomer bust hire for the Browns, but I think they might be confident in him just to be a leader there, sort of like a Jim Harbaugh. But this could fail and be like Brian Callahan all over again. You never know. It's the Browns. They're a laughing stock anyway. So with the Falcons, I originally had Jeff Hafley here because I thought, wow, this defense is really good. They need to keep developing this defense into becoming a really good forefront. And, Raheem Morris was solid. He wasn't great, though. They needed someone even better. So I thought Jeff Hafley. But I saw that they're really interested in Kevin Stefanski. And I'm like, that's a really good idea. So Kevin Stefanski it is. I think he can develop Michael Penix pretty well into a passer instead of using his legs and hopefully not tearing another ACL of his. But again, he's another previous head coach. I think a lot of these guys with prior experience, and will be really valuable in this year's head coaching cycle. I think he'll call a good offense. He'll use Bijan Wright like he did with Nick Chubb. He'll use Drake London like he used a younger Odell or maybe even a current Jerry Jeudy, which is just an all target receiver basically. And to keep with that good defense, I think he either rehires Jeff Ulbrich back or he brings Jim Schwartz with him. And they keep developing that defense the way they want him to. Now, last but not least team, it's the Titans. And all I'm seeing is Matt Nagy, they love him. Now, this is where Joe Brady should go. I think with Joe Brady, Cam Ward can develop into that Josh Allen player, which, he may not be the best runner, but he's got a solid enough arm to make it work. But they haven't given him an interview yet. That's really stupid in my mind. But they're really obsessed with Matt Nagy. Again, I saw a clip on X, Twitter, that it gave him a 42-page analysis of what he did right and wrong. Hopefully he takes that to heart and it's a better head coach than he was with Chicago. But the reason I'm not really impressed is because the way the Chiefs offense has looked for the past 2 years. They've been sloppy. Mahomes has looked robotic at times. And especially this year. Mahomes did not look like normal Mahomes. I don't know if that's on him I don't know if that's on Mahomes I don't know if that's on Andy Reid. I don't know if that's on Matt Nagy. Now, I'm going to put, I think, 33% blame on each. I think, Matt Nagy should deserve some of the blame, but hopefully he doesn't call plays while he's in Tennessee and can actually just focus on leading this team and that he hires someone good to be, the offensive coordinator, really help develop Cam Ward. And yeah, that's all of my head coaches. Let me know what you agree and disagree with in the comments down below. Thank you for watching.